But now, Mark Gronowski, I mean, again, it's only spring practice. It's only been set amount of time, and he's coming back from an injury. Don't forget that. So I'm sure he hasn't shown too much in spring, but just looking at what he's done the past 4 seasons with South Dakota State, I mean, he's a 2-time FCS champion twice, not once, twice. So he's a winner. Look, I got his stats right here, right? I'll tell you this. Last year, 206 of 338 passes, right? 2,721 passing yards. What Iowa quarterback has done that the last time? You can't name another quarterback throwing 2,700 yards in a season. 23 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. So that's not a bad ratio. 8 sacks with his mobility and especially with the duration of the season. Awesome, right? 98 carries for 380 rush yards and 10 touchdowns. And he caught 2 passes last year for 24 yards. So he got a little trickery in him, And I think he's going to be great. Look, I'll tell you this too. The 4 years combined at South Dakota State, 10,330 passing yards, 93 touchdowns, 93 passing touchdowns. Insane. 1,767 rushing yards for 37 touchdowns. You read those stats, and especially if you watch his game, he is a gritty, tough guy. When he runs the ball, he's not running to slide. He runs to hit people. He runs to get through you. And he's very smart, especially in the red zone. When Brendan Sullivan first started, when he started to come on at Iowa, he was beginning to be a red zone quarterback. I don't know if many people noticed that, but he was kind of put in as a second, third down guy when you're within 15, 10 yards. And he got us a couple touchdowns. Mark Gronowski in the red zone is very intelligent. He's very intelligent. He knows when to run, and he knows when to pass. Like I said, he could throw a little dime over the defense and make a tough pass, or he could even fake and take a run, hit a couple guys, and get in the end zone. So I think Mark Gronowski is another version of Ben Sullivan, but just kind of, his skills are more toned, and he's going to bring a lot to the Hawkeyes, and we're going to see that in the fall.
Here, just real quick, this was, I think, telling looking back. Kirk Ferentz talking about in the lead up to spring a couple of weeks ago, he was asked about what he was hoping to get out of these quarterbacks throughout the spring. And well, it started with some very nice things about one, Mark Gronowski.
I think the way I'd phrase it, we feel like we know the most, ironically, about Mark, even though he's not practicing. That doesn't make sense. But it's contradiction in terms, I guess. But, he's played the most and, he's got that production. So, that's a starting point. And then the guys in the room we're really excited about, but none of them have, played 20 games or, 30 games. So this is a really good opportunity for them. Obviously, Brandon's a hell of a lot more comfortable now with what we're doing than he was a year ago. He got here in June. To me, it's amazing what he did pick up in a short amount of time. And the same thing with Hank. And, you got Jimmy there, and then Jackson's back too. So we're just going to let those guys practice and play and all that kind of stuff. And then whenever Mark's able to join us back, and really, we're not going to be evaluating or competing until August, then we'll go through that and just see what happens. But overall, the whole room is, pardon the pun, it's a lot healthier. And I just think we've got a better situation than we've had. And ironically, Spencer has been back in the building. He had another procedure done, but anyway, he's been around here for a while. And, whenever he got tackled and that shoulder blew up a couple of Novembers ago, it's been a rough go since then, So, it's just the way it goes. Sometimes you do the best with what's in front of you, but I'm optimistic, and all of us are, that we got a little better potential right now as we move forward right now. I'm looking forward to seeing where it all goes.
And I know, hey, same song, same dance, right? It's the last couple of years. They found a quarterback. They're going to unlock this offense. We've heard some of this before from Kirk Ferentz, so I understand where part of the fan base is going to say, yeah, I've heard that before. But you could tell, I think, in those remarks, Chris, great respect, A, for what Brendan Sullivan brought to the program. And then obviously, again, B, they are really excited about what Mark Gronowski can bring to this football team. And that makes sense because it's somebody that's passed for more than 10,000 yards and has accounted for 93 passing touchdowns, has run in 37 more across an accomplished FCS career. And really, that's what we're looking for out of Iowa at the quarterback position, right? Is just give me competent, effective, somebody that on third down, when it's third down and long, Chris, there's a chance that we could convert this third down because you haven't really felt like you've been there for a couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely been a while. I would say the last NFL bound quarterback we've had is CJ Beathard, and that was almost 10 years ago. I mean, it's been a long time. Now he's not an absolute stud in the NFL, but he's an NFL quarterback. An NFL quarterback in the college football is a star. Mark Gronowski, like I said, got invited to the combine. He is a star. He won 2 FCS championships. You don't win one, maybe you could say luck, but they had a great team. You win it twice. What's the saying? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Well, he did it twice. He backed it up. He is a proven winner. And winners, especially at the quarterback position, are very intelligent players. They're talented players. And I want fans to go look at his footage. He is a dime thrower. He's someone that's very comfortable throwing a 20, 30-yard bomb, and he makes plays happen. When I was looking at his footage last night, one thing that was intriguing to me, like I said, the red zone, it is kind of how he's always calm under pressure. When the pressure starts coming at him and he starts to scramble, he's not one to kind of just panic. He'll still look for the pass. He might even do a little pass fake and then run through the defense, or he might even start to run a little bit, draw defenders, and then throw a little pass. I know I saw one footage of that led to a 60-yard touchdown. Just a little dump over the pass over 3 defenders. It's awesome, man. He has a great skill set, and it's like I'm a Bears fan. Okay, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. I know how it feels.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know how it feels to get excited and then kind of get let down, but you just have to know you have no choice but to be optimistic and expect the best, expect the positive. And, although we lost a lot of good pieces, which we'll get into, I'm sure, but there's a lot to look forward to, man. He has a great skill set, great man. If you listen to his presser last week, he just humble guy. You could tell everyone respects him, and a lot to look forward to, man. It's going to be a good season. He's going to take us pretty far. He's gonna be nice for us, and he's going to be the best quarterback. Mark my words now. I hope my fans are taking us down. He's going to be the best quarterback we've had in the past 10 years since CJ Beathard. Mark that down.
I hope that you are right. I would like some explosive plays in the pass and run game from the quarterback. And just in closing here off the top, we're talking about Brendan Sullivan entering the transfer portal. This is Iowa Hawkeyes Primetime Live. We are your hosts, Josh Helmer and Chris Meglio. This our first show together. It's cool. Appreciate all of you being in here in the chat with us and watching along with us live tonight on this Monday in the month of April. That's right, we're talking football, baby, Hawkeyes football. And fill up that chat with some of your thoughts this evening, and we can dive into those. Just a closing thought on this Brendan Sullivan transfer portal entrance. What you just said about Gronowski, I think, is something that endeared the Iowa fan base to Brendan Sullivan, is that ability to make plays happen off script, right? When something breaks down a little bit, I can get outside the pocket. I can use my feet. I can extend a play and maybe do something explosive down the field. That was something that has been sorely lacking from this Iowa offense, and Brendan Sullivan helped generate that. He helped provide that. And when I hear you talk about Mark Gronowski, that's what we're hoping the new starting signal caller in Iowa City can provide, right? A little bit of off script.
Mm-hmm. No, of course. And that's why fans got excited about Brendan Sullivan, because they saw, when we had, Deacon Hill, we had a couple years ago, we had Caden McNamara, their mobility is limited. So, when the pressure comes and the O-line kind of collapses, or, one defender gets through, you're not expecting them to go on a run or, make stuff happen. But Brendan Sullivan brought back that excitement. And that's why when the defense collapsed, Hawkeye fans still had that hope. We still held our breath because we know that Brendan Sullivan has the legs. You've seen it time and time again, how Brendan Sullivan was able to get away from the defense, get away from the pressure, and make something happen, even when he didn't have a pass. And that's what's so intriguing about Mark Gronowski, is even when the line collapses, even when a defender or two gets through and he has to scramble, he will still throw that deep ball, and he could throw it very consistently on top of having the ability to run. And, you see in the NFL that dual threat ability, how much that burdens on a defense. So now when they have to account for not just his arm, but his legs, it creates so much chaos. It's a mental game at that point for the defense, and they're going to be confused. And not only that, like I said, he's a high IQ player. So when he is 8, 9 times out of 10 going to make the best decision, it just like I said, man, it's going to be a good season. There's a lot to look forward to, and I just hope fans do their research, because if you do, then I'm sure all your doubts, which are reasonable as a Bears fan, I know it's reasonable. All your doubts might be silenced. It's a lot to look forward to.
I mean, come on. But one of these years, right? Your Bears, your Hawkeyes, eventually the explosive offense and good decision making. It's just a matter of time, right? I mean, come on. As soon it's got to return.